Hey, what's up everybody? It's TSP TV, out and about on a little bit of walkabout. So some of you may recognize the scenes that you're looking at, or maybe not. There's trees in the way, but I'm still at Queen's Park, just coming away from the little rally that they had this morning, Wednesday, the June 2nd. Just waiting for the subway, not the subway, the streetcar. But I decided, you know what, that's what I wanted to do. Look at that little view there. Can you see what I'm looking at there? There's the CN Tower, tall building, a little bit of the downtown skyline. So let me zoom back out. So we're going to do a little walkabout, and because there's a couple of things I saw on my way to the protest that I thought was a little bit interesting. So sorry, excuse me, I nearly tripped over, and I've lost a flip-flop, so off to a good start already. Anyway, let's have a little look at the skyline. We're going to walk down, actually let's cross the road because we've got the Green Man this way. So we're heading west now. There you go, there is Queen's Park. That's where I broadcast live from at the lockdown protests. Trying to keep this phone as still as possible. We've got 3 seconds, don't think we're going to make it here. But although there are lots of streetcars going east, there are none going west, and that's the direction I need to go. Alright, so we can go to the middle. It's a very weird sort of intersection here. Do a bit some of the skyline around over that way. I could even maybe do a little bit of this type walking. But I like to see what you're looking at through the camera. That gives me a better idea, although I could flip around. So as you can see, we are kind of in the heart of downtown. Some tall business buildings around. Flag of Toronto there flying. I don't know if you can see that, the blue flag. Fun enough, I just talked about the streetcar not coming. There it is. But we've committed to doing a little bit of a walkabout, mainly because there's a couple of interesting posters that I saw that might be of interest. And if or not, I wanted to show you the fucking lineup at the Krispy Kreme. Insane, absolutely insane. Yeah, there's a Krispy Kreme donut shop just around the corner here. And when I come yesterday and today, there was, like, I don't know, socialist, communist Russia from the 80s. So you can see, I don't know, there's the General Hospital. There, that shiny glass looking building, that is the Mars Centre. So there's the Queen's Park Street subway station. We are on University Avenue. There we go, look. Ontario Power. Little plaza down there. There's a Tim Hortons. There's a bunch of pigeons, look. And normally, you know, this place would be a little bit more busy out on this time of day, on the summer afternoon, early summer afternoon here in Toronto. You see there's a little playground down there, probably been shut up. And a lot of these big buildings have like little concourses and plazas within them with food courts and other kind of, you know, stores, things like that. You know, it's kind of like their little tiny villages within a city, vertical streets in some way. But it is an interesting part of town. As I say, there's a lot of scenery to be caught around here. You can see the skyline. There's the BMO skyscraper just there. And in the middle, you can see the Union Jack flying next to the Italian and Japanese and American flag there. And there's the Peter Monk Centre. That is the Toronto General Hospital we're looking at. And this literally is the heart of downtown right now. It's a nice looking bike. Look how wide it is. See that? It's a pretty cool, sweet ride. A little bit of a water feature here out in Swiss Chalet. Winner, chicken dinner for $8.99. Takeout only. From a water feature. So we're going to be walking down past Mount Sinai Hospital, isn't it? And we just kind of. The hospital there, General Hospital. We walk down that street on Saturday night. It's part of our little walkout, tea and friends walkabout. Thank you, sir, for letting me go. Sometimes you don't know, you've got to stop just in case. But the Jerk Brothers, look, there's a food truck outside the hospital there. Some stuff. I haven't got a stapler, otherwise I could do something here. But what I am going to do, put fun. So this is the Cambridge Family Building, cancer research. You can see up like that. A little bit of sun trying to come out. Someone's shouting at me. I don't know. I don't think so. But as I said, the entrance to the Peter Monk and the General Hospital right there. It's one entrance, the university. The main entrance is the other side. Gattuso slate building. And this is what we're going to look at. I'm going to try not to draw too much attention, but we're coming up to Mount Sinai Hospital, very famous hospital here in Toronto. And also you can see over there in the distance the sick kids. Now I've actually worked inside both of these buildings. I worked for about a year and a half inside the sick kids in like one of the little plazas I was talking about, a little food court. They had a restaurant there. I worked for nearly 18 months. And unfortunately in the General Hospital I worked at a Hero Burger for I think also a similar amount of time. Horrible job, worse than prison. But I have worked in two of the main hospitals here in Toronto, and it's kind of a little bit of a shame I don't work in them at this time, because it'd be interesting to get some sort of inside the hospital walls kind of coverage, because I used to have a badge to get in there, so I was like staff. Although I didn't work for the hospital, I did have a staff pass that gave me the sort of ability to walk around the premises, and you can only imagine that that would be quite handy to have now. So this is Mount Sinai here. A few people outside. So there's the sick kids, there is the General Hospital, but this little emergency centre is coming up on, see the red building? I'm going to turn the camera that way, and this is what you have to go in, guys. Like when you've got an emergency, this is what you have to walk through, and it's an emergency entrance. I'm going to walk slowly, pause it. Look what you're seeing there. That's where you have to go. You've got an emergency. Before you go into the hospital, you've got to go into that little booth, right? And those people in the masks and gowns, I guess they give you some kind of testing or something. Like I said, I don't know if I should go and try and ask perhaps what they're up to, but it is a beautiful part of the city. Look at that, that's a great shot. The skyscraper, the Canadian flag, cloudy skies. Be nice if it was picture perfect blue skies, but let's let the ambulance go by. Sorry about that. There doesn't seem any emergency to get in there. The paramedic, nothing else coming. So I don't know. Maybe the passenger in the back. Let's not joke about it. Maybe he died of COVID on the way to the hospital, but I doubt it. He's probably just went out to get some Timbits in a latte from the fancy Tim Hortons car now. Look, fuck cancer. This is the Toronto Rehab here on University. So we're going to be taking a right at this intersection. So there is the sick kids. I spent a lot of time in those walls, made some good friends. And actually, I used to come out sometimes on my lunch break and smoke a spliff under that tree there. Funny enough, where that gentleman's sitting, maybe he's smoking a spliff on his lunch break. Drux's world famous sandwiches. Nothing to write home about. It's just a fancy Subway, really and truly. Nothing to write home about at all. Not one of your like proper little kind of Jewish delis that you might find a little bit north of the city. We've got a little pocket of a Jewish sort of community, and you can get some really good delicatessen meats up there. Maybe not as nice as the ones you can get in Montreal. Montreal is known for its smoked meats. So we're actually going to be taking a right on Elm Street, although hopefully there's not going to be any nightmares on this street. Nightmare on Elm Street, see what I did there, guys? And the Krispy Kreme is just ahead. You might or might not be able to make it out in the distance, but when I walked by this morning, there must have been like 50, 60 people. I'm not shitting you, 50, 60 people. But I kind of had my phone set up ready to stream at the protest, which is why I didn't record on my way in. And this is where, again, if I had my second phone, I'm operating on just the one phone right now. If I had the second phone, I could have done so. But anyway, this is again one of the entrances in the car parks to the hospital. I'm going to cross the road. I am jaywalking. This is the Hasty Mart. I used to come here and buy cigarettes sometimes on my way home from work. Sometimes when I finished at the hospitals, I'd make my way downtown. So there is the rehab. There you go. Another tall building. The bread bowl. Actually applied for a job there. After I lost my job at the sick kids hospital, the restaurant started to struggle and eventually closed down, which was very upsetting because I really enjoyed that job. But anyway, we are walking kind of back towards Chinatown. This is a little area that you may start becoming more familiar with, and I sort of figured, you know, I'm out and about, it is early in the daytime, why not make the most of it? I've really got no reason to get back home anytime soon, nowhere to see, nowhere to be, other than go back to bed when I do get there, maybe have a little nap. So I figured, you know what, seems around and about in this part of downtown. It is the summer months, it's not so uncomfortable being outside as it is during the colder, longer winter months here in Toronto. So let's make the most of being out and about, the warmer weather, the early days of summer here. The birds cheeping, the trees are out in full greenery. Everything's pretty good. So there's another look at that, the church, the tower in the background, birds singing. Little virtual tour for some of you guys that may not ever get to visit Toronto. And I do know our little favourite Cajun Nancy, #Shah, down in Louisiana. She loves these walkabouts, as does Heidi, a disabled in prepping. She doesn't, unlikely to possibly come here and visit Toronto, and having sort of disabilities, getting around and about might be a little bit of a difficulty for some people. So this does give you a little bit of a chance to kind of stroll, see part of Toronto that you probably wouldn't see otherwise if you were a tourist and you're only spending a couple of days here. God forbid you spend a week. I don't know what you'd do in a week in Toronto if you did come here for a week, but some people do, and I guess they find things to entertain themselves, although I'm not really, I guess I've lived here too long. I'm desensitized to Toronto's uniqueness, I guess. You always do tend to take for granted what's on your doorstep, just like we took for granted for our freedoms until they've been removed, and that's why we are coming each and every week to Queen's Park for those protests. So unfortunately the lineup ain't as long, there's only a couple of people, but there is the Krispy Kreme, so that is a shame. But before, when I walked in, I guess it was early morning, lunchtime, that lineup, look at that beautiful scenery for you guys. How's that? Amazing, right? So that's another reason why I wanted to bring you down this way. There's some good signs, but look at this one I'm looking at. You see there? Wanted theft of news content, and look at some of these skyscrapers, a little bit of street art down there. The sun is coming out a little bit now. Guy over there thinks he's Eddie Plant. But look at this for you guys. There you go, that's what I wanted to. Just in this corner here, that's the Royal Ontario Museum. Obviously that is the CN Tower, and that is a pretty iconic skyline. Nice, I think that's a church there. Another one of these little back streets that you sometimes explore down. I think we actually walked down that street the other day on Saturday. Another nice building here, look, I think that might be a church or something, I'm not entirely sure. Redemptionists, Church of Redemptionists. Look at that, great footage of the skies and the skyline here. So let you enjoy that. So that glass roof you can see there, that is the Royal Ontario Museum, and if that sun breaks out, that's going to get uncomfortable, so it might not be a long walkabout. And I have got a little bit of footage of a streetcar ride I tried to take yesterday that was disrupted by a tweaker who refused to pay a fare, and I had to get some fare inspectors to pull off. But it's another St. Patrick's Catholic Church there. Get you a little look at that. Again, there's a tower. Belgian pub. The Belgians are coming. The Belgians are coming. And this is a German parish church by all accounts. The pub is closed up. There I am. Hello. But you know what I look like. You've seen me already. You don't need these sneaky little window glimpses anymore. So there is a nice little bit of street art up there on I believe those are kind of campus buildings, or if they're not official campus buildings, a lot of students will live in them. And again, this will be a little there is actually a little food court in you know, like a dry cleaners, nail salon sort of thing. In the basement of that, there's a little tiny village, and some of these buildings, as I said, we might have to go in and explore one day, because they're quite interesting, the hidden shopping malls. So here's the Royal Ontario Museum. Oh no, this is the art gallery of, sorry, this isn't the ROM. My apologies, this is the art gallery of Ontario. And we are heading back towards Chinatown, which is a little bit interesting, but there's some quirky little things down and around the art museum. Somewhere, you know, normally there'd be people in and out of this. It's probably closed, right? Thinking about it, but normally, you know, summertime is the time when you see more people on the streets in Toronto. It does get a little bit cold and brutal. I'm not saying tourists don't come here in the winter, but the majority of tourism does come during the summer months. Backpackers, students, that kind of stuff come here, and you will see a lot of activity out there. But this is something I wanted to show you. Look at that. It's Van Gogh. But here, look, when you come up, it's like inside. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a sculpture into the wall. But when you kind of walk back, it looks like it's sticking out at you. Isn't that amazing? So these are why I wanted to kind of do this little walkabout. I'm actually going to cross the street because that side's in the shade. Look at those cute little bushes. I'm not sure what that used to be when it was open. Will I be able to run? I think so. We did it. Look at that. Death defying. That's nicer. So we are in a little bit of the shade now. There's some of the... This is something they're doing. Virtual tours. I noticed a lot of this on social media. Virtual tours. Don't let... This is the new normal, guys. So, you see there? So basically what they've done is they've like opened up their doors, I guess, to virtual visitors. And that's something I've seen a lot of. Virtual tours, virtual train light, virtual dates. We are being pushed towards the virtual world, whether we want it or not. That's why they want us on isolation. These are why these places are going to be closed up. You're only going to be able to visit them virtually. You'll only be able to go on virtual dates. Now, we could jump on that streetcar, but let's keep walking. So as I said, there's a little bit of interesting things to see around here. You know, you've got the skyline. As you can tell, the cloud is beginning to break. So all this virtual stuff that is going on, it just signifies, you know, to me that they don't want to open up anytime soon, and they want you to visit places virtually. And something interesting I noticed a little while ago, there was a show on Netflix called Museums on Lockdown. I remember at the time chatting to my admin crew, so there's some pictures. Not sure if you know who those are. Is that Rembrandt? Some more pictures. Not sure why he's got a frying pan on his head. But yeah, this TV series on Netflix, I'm like, what a shitty show. Like, how interesting is that going to be? Like, looking at a museum when they're on lockdown. But what it is getting people to visit things virtually. There you go. AGO from home. I'm pretty sure the Toronto Art Gallery isn't the only one that is doing this. I'm pretty sure if you went to any major city that has art galleries and museums, they're all offering virtual tours. Everything's being streamed these days. People don't necessarily watch TV like they used to, or maybe don't even listen to the radio like they did. Everything is done virtually. Traceability, that's why. Collects more data, more information. The Learning Centre. You can't do that anymore. Where kids can come usually during the summer months, like kind of a day camp thing, I think, that they can come to the art museum, the art gallery, and they kind of do little projects, arts and crafts, that thing, keep them busy, learn some skills. Cute little building there. So yeah, this is interesting. You can have a little look at this. Yeah, this is a map. That's where we are. This is where we're heading right now. Now Spadina and Avenue there, Dundas West, that is the intersection. This is Kensington Market, that is the park that we've sort of visited. So on Saturday we walked down this way and then off that way, off map. But there's a little area of where we are. There's a picture from the olden days. Some of the things that are in this area. A little bit of information for you. Alright, and there we are on the corner of Dundas and Beverley. So literally when we kind of cross the street here, we will be in Chinatown. So let's get some of those views again. Look at that, guys. Toronto skyline in the background, CN Tower. Sun's starting to pick up. Now these are interesting because this billboard, these are smart billboards. So where a non-medical, see I'm not wearing a mask, so did that see me and target me for that particular ad? Now it thinks I need some beer. So let's just watch it for a while. You can see it's glitching, on the camera it's glitching because it is like a big cell phone. So wash your hands with soap and water and often. What else is it going to say? Practice physical distancing. So here you see your propaganda, your mind control on the streets. This is implanted into the minds of many people subliminally. They don't realize it, but they walk past this each and every day. Their eyes don't see it, but the subliminal mind does. Again, more about the Van Gogh distancing. And look at these little circles that they got. They got those at the Trinity Bell words. Those circles, people, we're going to get used to those. So it's still telling me to practice self-distancing. And let's move on. But those are smart billboards, ladies and gentlemen. Those are things that you that target you. They give you a little bit of a description based on your looks, and they target certain ads for you. So let's just do a little something here. Put one in there. Something you don't see much of either. Let's put another one in there. And we're going to put one in here. Perfect. But those are also surveillance. Those billboards will be used as part of the trace system because they have artificial intelligence and smart technology in them. Everything has to be smart, everything has to be virtual, and that is how they will keep track of us. Oh, you were here. This is additional surveillance for the cause. So there's a little, look at that, there's a cute moose up there. This is a bit of a popular Lucky Moose grocery store. Fresh melons. Not sure if they're ripe. And look at this, some pretty cool street art down here. The VV Spa, and that's well worth a visit. I've come away from there very happy. There's the Bank of China building. So we are in Chinatown now. Someone's left a bag over there on the street. VV Spa. There's the number. Give them a call, although they're not open right now. Or maybe they are. They're upstairs. Yeah, they're still operating. So that's good. Silky smooth soft tofu stew. They're the kachi. Sun Ming Hong. cute helmet that kid's got on. It's a pretty sweet ride as well. You get some of these little herbal medicine places. Don't know if you can see through the window. There's some ginseng and stuff you can only pick up now. You have to call in advance. But it's like a herbal alternative medicine place in there. I actually used to visit a Chinese doctor when I was back in England. I kind of got disgruntled with seeing general practitioners, the GP, part of the national health. They only seem to want to write you a prescription and give you drugs. But the herbal and the ancient healing methods, there's a lot to be said for them. And the reason they kind of like mock them and try and discourage people from pursuing these kind of natural, more holistic forms of treatment is because it damages big pharma. So look, this is the Dim Sum King seafood restaurant. Look at that delicious suckling pig there. We'll probably cut that with a zigzag paper. But again, guys, very, very quiet and deserted. Sorry there. On the streets of Chinatown, some more street art there. Beautiful street art. Long time no see. Barbecue restaurant. Closed, struggling. The Chinese bakery, these are also awesome to go into and have a little look. But some wonderful, wonderful treats inside there. I actually almost feel like going and getting myself a Chinese bun. Maybe another day. So I've only got $4 to my name at the moment in actual cash. That is with COVID. There's another interesting place to visit, the Wonder Spa. Another one of these kind of little, look at those. I think those are the prawn crackers or chicharrones. My God, I'm gonna have to buy one of those one day. But look, $35 to make some fucking great rolling with those. Sure. So we've got the Chinese Gospel Church there of Toronto. The Chinese and Canadian flag flying on top of some of these buildings. Here's something cool. Look at this, guys. The Peking duck, the barbecue pork. Is that making your mouth water? Awesome. I have no idea what any of that says. But Chinatown's a really cool place. Look, there's some nice little ornate street decor. Some more beautiful street work. Not sure who that is, but he's carrying a baby girl and a baby boy in a basket, and there's lots of magpies, it looks like, flying. And I'm not sure who that lady is. Comes another streetcar. You watch, when we want to jump on a streetcar, there won't be one. Bubble tea shop. Look at all these delicious bubble tea. Awesome. Thank you, Frontline Heroes. This is like the unofficial red light district here, guys. All these little places. Cute little Chinese kind of magazine and bookshop here. You see some little, I like those little waving cats. I keep thinking I should probably try and get one for the Thrift Fam Studios. This is where you can go and get like birthday cards and kind of I guess Chinese decorations and things like that. And I really do like Chinatown. It's a very, very interesting place to come. You know, a minute ago we were in kind of the heart of downtown, and it's almost like we've had a mini vacation to the Far East. Support your local Chinatown. Stick one there. Did you know? So yeah, guys, some of these places here, you have a hell of a time. So there's lots of little kind of knick-knack stores, places where you can get souvenirs, lots of kind of gadgets and technology shops, you know, where you can get phones and phone equipment. I'll show you some of the things you could get at this restaurant. It's actually making me a little bit hungry. Colourful Temptation. Some more phone boxes, so you know what we're going to do. Put some information in there for people. If they read it or not, it's up to them. So there's a little tech shop there I was just talking about. Matcha tea, I'm guessing. A little bubble tea foods cafe. The Chinatown Mart. That place there, actually, House of Gourmet. It's one of the best places in town to get your barbecue pork and Peking duck. I've been there quite a few times actually. And my little Chinese friend who I sometimes meet up with and we go get dinner and hang out with, she recommends it. It's got her seal of approval. That's where she always takes me. And I'll agree, the barbecue pork is divine. And if I had like more than $3 on me right now, I'd go in and get myself some to take home. That's new, the little dim sum place. There used to be a little hole, literally a hole in the wall there, that used to sell like these little like pork and chicken satay skewers. You could get a whole baked sweet potato and stinky tofu, and it's very, very cheap. Like get a baked sweet potato for like $2, and it's very, very filling and delicious. But that's new, the Hong Kong dim sum house. That's a little bakery and dim sum, very delicious. Here's some more street art. Let's go and look at this. Don't know if you can see down there, there's some more street art. Looks like video games. I think that's actually back of a little video game store perhaps. There's Crash Bandicoot up there, what it looks like. This is the one we come to see. Look at that beautiful dragon. And this is why I wanted to kind of do this little walkabout, because not always do we see this part. There you go, another little bit of the skyline there. That used to be a bank, the Rexall. That used to be a bank of Royal Bank of Canada, RBC. Funny enough, that's where my little Chinese friend Zhao Zhao used to work. He used to take me to the House of Gourmet. There you can see down in the basement there's some more little bubble tea shops. And these bubble teas are absolutely amazing. Buy one, get one. Buy any large double tea. Something just dripped on my head. Hope it wasn't a pigeon shitting on me. But this is Dundas and Spadina. There's the Chinatown, the Dragon City Mall. A little bit further down is the Chinatown Centre. That's another mall. And that's another interesting place to explore. You could actually probably go and get some Japanese candy there. But very expensive. So that's north. Heading on Spadina, that's west, and that would be south. And again, you can see some more kind of Chinese style architecture, statues, street decorations, I guess. And there's one of the individuals that may or may not have stopped the streetcar yesterday. We do see a lot of homeless folks hanging in around this area. There's some people over there. I think there's a guy doing some feng shui or tai chi. Oh, we've got the light. Let's go. You sometimes do get out here some very dear little sweet old Chinese ladies giving out some Christian material, paraphernalia, leaflets, little magazines and things. And they're always lovely and cute. I always take one even though I don't necessarily want one. But yeah, he's up to something. Let's come back and give you a little, let's see, there's the downtown. Sirens going on over there. A couple of dragons you can see in the middle. And that's a police car. And it is an emergency. He's going out the streetcar lane. Wow. They're in a rush. Should we follow? Why not? There's a story developing in front of us. So I wasn't necessarily going to go this way, but we can get back to where we need to go. And anyway, we can have a look at the dragons. That's something to do. Look at the cool little stamps up the ear of the rat. They're cool. And this was another good place, the Goldstone Noodles. They used to have great barbecue pork too. So that's what I wanted to come and show you. Look, the dragons. And the Chinatown Festival is very, very interesting. They usually have those dances, you know, when they have the Chinese dragons dancing around in the streets and those hang, hang, hang kind of drums. This looks new as well. Northern China cuisine. Look how fancy that looks. That's bao. That's new. But this place, I used to come here all the time. Because actually, that's true. Should we go and look? Why the fuck not? Alright, so, okay. No, let's not. There are police that are doing something over here. So maybe we have seen a little story. That building they are outside of is a kind of hostel, pay by the night kind of place. Backpackers tend to stay there, or sometimes, you know, maybe people that are struggling or have bad habits maybe live there. And that lady, it doesn't look like there's anything major. The cops are walking away, so we're not going to get any dramatic real life footage of cops maybe injuring or hurting people, but we did kind of follow what could have been a potential. Look at that, that's their dinner. That's what they're eating. The staff are eating some fresh shrimps and some salad there. And this was a very, very good and economical place to come and eat once upon a time. I used to love coming here. I think for about $6 you used to get a big serving of barbecue pork, some rice, and a bottomless tea. And there it is, that braised belly pork. Holy shit, yo. I can taste that right now. So I was going to go and show you where I stayed when I first lived in Toronto. And that was in, here we go, look at these ducks. Absolutely. Look there, that pork, that fat. That is absolutely delicious. This is a little one of those kind of tech stores. You can get like phone covers, key rings, little tacky kind of Pokemon-y stuffy toys, things like that in there. Some little Toronto, Canada knickknacks to take home if you're a tourist. But this is the street I first lived on when I come in Toronto. I can't really say I was living here because it was a backpacker hostel. And it was called the Chinatown the Chinatown Hostel. So let's go back a little bit down memory lane, because it's actually almost, it's not to the day, but it's almost 9 years. It was 9 years ago this month, June, that I first arrived here. Not quite 10 years yet. If not, I'll make it that long, who knows. But this was the kind of area that we are just walking around now. This was my Toronto for the first few weeks, possibly months that I lived here. Although I did sort of venture every now and then a little further afield, block by block, until I got some local geography programmed into my mind and knew where I was going. But it's very easy to get around cities when they have the kind of grid system, something you don't always see in the United Kingdom. But Toronto, for the most part, is a grid system. Here you go, this is one of these, like, these shops are fascinating. You get like cookware, you can get like incense, you get toys, clothes, hats, sunglasses. People live in these are little apartments and condominiums where a lot of the people that live and work around Chinatown do. But this is the street that I used to live in, and we're going to go and sit outside where I used to stay. So this, almost 9 years ago, I walked down this very street where we're walking now with nothing more than a little backpack on my back, because that was all that I had in the world back then. And when I left England after I spent a few months there after being deported from the United States, I got together some money, and I literally come here with like a couple of grand in my pocket in a rubber band, a couple of pairs of jeans, a couple of t-shirts and some shorts. I didn't even have a coat. In Canada obviously does suffer from winter, but I figured travel light, got through the border, and here I have been ever since. But I walked down this road about 9 years ago, and like these were some of the first things. I literally got off the airport, got on a bus, got dropped off downtown, just a few blocks from here, and lucky enough, without really navigating myself or looking at the map, I kind of come almost by accident, only a few blocks away. But the unfortunate thing was, I did have this place booked for my first night here, but my phone died just before I departed London, Gatwick. And I was trying to charge my phone before I got on my plane, but I got called to get on the plane, jumped on the plane, and my phone didn't charge. It actually died while I was in the air, but I left my charger behind in the airport, and when I got here I couldn't charge my phone, so I had absolutely no way of getting my information up. So I ended up staying in another walk-in hostel that is no longer here. They gave me a charger. I got online, used a computer, and this was actually the second day, so I literally got into town late in the evening. I grabbed myself a quick bite to eat from I think it was a pizza bar that was next door to the hospital, grabbed some smokes from the gas station, and went to sleep. Then the very next morning I left there very early, got some breakfast and coffee they had there. And again, these little places like that used to be a store, you could go and buy things. I'm not sure what's going on now. But I walked up Spadina Street to where we are almost about to see. And it was here, number 35. That is, or was, a backpacker hostel. And that room up there is where I spent my second night in Canada. Actually, no, I tell a lie. It wasn't that one, it was this one. It was 31. My bad. It was that balcony. See, it's been so long since I've been here. That is a little backpacker hostel. It's like $12 a night. I wonder how much it'd be to spend now. I'm not sure, but that little room there, that was where I spent my second night in Canada, and spent about 2 months living in here. And then I don't know if you can tell, just a little bit up there, see that bench? I'd go out there and drink my coffee and smoke in the morning. So that was a little bit of a walk down memory lane for me. I haven't been up the street since then. 31 Grange Avenue, that was a place that I first stayed in Toronto. So these streets become very familiar to me in those days, because this really was my neighborhood back then. Did get a little bit of deja vu, I'm not gonna lie, coming back down here. It was a similar sort of day and heat. Dog shit there. But there are a few of those. There's another one there we just went past, 43. That is also another little backpacker hostel type deal. So it is very hot and sticky and humid today. I have got a long sleeve hoodie on to kind of cover me from the sun, because you don't want to start burning. And the other thing, I don't want to start getting an uneven sort of Hank Hill type tan, which you do if you have a t-shirt on and you are exposed. So that we just walked down that way. We just saw those red dragons on that side. So I don't really got the shade cover as I hoped, because these buildings aren't as high as the ones we were before. But this is a cute little neighborhood, I guess. Some very sort of simple and humble homes next to some very bling bling. Look at that one. But I'd rather live there. I'd rather have a rocking chair on that porch and a shotgun. Just keep walking. Nothing to see here. Although this isn't the deep south, I could pretend that I was. Embrace the white trash. So these are some cute little condos. Look, tiny little places to live. This guy's out in his yard. He's got a nice little garden here. He's tending over his flowers. Bless him. Hello. Dear old man. I don't know what it is. Old Asian people just have such a sort of cute characteristics around. Always coughing up a lung now. I hope he's alright. But they always seem so very friendly and peaceful and nice. I've always got time to say hello to a little, not just old Asian people, but old people in general. A little bit more street art. Maybe not as pretty as the stuff on the main street. So here we are, back where we were. The police are still there. Oh my goodness, maybe there is something going on. So kind of, let's scoot up round that way and we'll make our way back towards Dundas Street and do a little bit more walking. Just because there's some other interesting stuff. But it does look to seem to be some police activity. There's some more condos there. People live in those. And it is a very busy, vibrant neighbourhood, Chinatown. As I said, that's why it's usually always a fun place to come in the summer, just for the sights, sounds and smells. And here you go, you've got some cool little things, some panda slippers, Pokemon cards, cheap sunglasses. That's a cool bucket hat. I should probably think about buying that one with a smiley on it. They've also got masks. You can get these little shopping buggies. There's the Chinatown Centre. I don't know if that guy was angry that I was looking at his stuff or not. But we are going to cross the road. I'm not sure what that's going on there. A little organic market perhaps. Can't really tell from here, but we don't want to keep wandering too far off course, because we want to go and see what the police action is all about. Okay, we can cross the roads, try and get into some shade. I'm actually hoping that my legs are getting a little bit of sun though. I always get difficulty getting my legs, I guess. It's mostly they kind of are in pants, and like when I was in California when I literally lived in shorts. And is there another police car coming to the scene? Oh, if he'd have turned left then, for sure he would. So let's go see what's going on, see what the kerfuffle is all about around here. Are there? Or did we come up the wrong street? I think we come up the wrong street. It looked like there were police in and around this neighbourhood. See if you can come down the back alleys. Some more sirens are going. It's a Grange Court. So this is like Alexandra Park. This is like the projects. I'm not sure if you can kind of walk through the back alley, small street out there. So this is just literally a stone's throw from the tower. I'm not sure if we can walk through this area or not. I was trying to go down there. I can't remember if we can make it through. Yes, we can. All right. So there is a little car park here. That was the house that was getting the police attention. So hopefully these people won't say much to us. But let's look at the buildings. Very interesting. Now you can see the tower in the background. If they say anything to me, they can say I'm doing a tourist video. And then he fell over again. He must have flip-flopped. Don't know if that bike's abandoned. So there you go. Funny enough, this individual was at the protest yesterday. So this is the building I was talking about. It was a backpacker hospital, but it's pretty much a crack den, let's call it as it is. Some of the back alleys of the Dragon City Mall, the car parking, and there also are residential buildings above it that we're looking up at now. And when you go in there, so you know, people do live above this place. In the daytime, lots of the older sort of Chinese people will sit and hang out. Oh, there's a dead little bird there. Poor thing. But yeah, they will kind of hang out in here. They usually have a big screen TV and they sort of play cards maybe. And just sit and congregate. It's like a little community within a community. Some of these buildings. K1 TV. Meteor clothing and shoes. Oh, that was a nice bit of cool air coming out from the cover. So here's some more little interesting west of Spadina Chinatown buildings, kind of, or businesses rather. But this is kind of where you get back into Kensington Market. You have seen it there before. So piece by piece, we are giving you kind of a pretty concise tour of this little area, kind of between Kensington Market and Queen's Park, which are areas that you are becoming familiar with if you're following these videos. So let's see if we can walk down just a little bit further. It is getting warm and uncomfortable. I am starting to ache from the day, standing around holding a selfie stick up. Doesn't sound like hard work, but it somehow does become a little bit draining. Another police car there. Our sun is coming out in full bloom now, so I don't know. Oh my goodness, I can see a streetcar. Is there a stop anywhere close? I think I've gone too far. That's a shame, because I could have signed off and jumped on the streetcar. Made my way home. I can actually literally ride this right back to Roncy. Bright Eyes Optical. Oh, that's getting warm and sticky now. Do got some water with me. It's better. So here comes a streetcar that I could have got on if there was a stop close enough. But there's not really that much to see other than the projects. And they are going to redevelop this, but on Saturday, and they still are, they're all boarded up. And they'd been freshly graffitied with what looked like coded messages, possibly for the protesters. There's an apartment to rent over there. Rest assured, you probably couldn't be able to afford that. Well, never know, don't know how big the apartment is exactly. But this would be kind of an expensive neighborhood to live in rent-wise. So this is part of Augusta. This is Kensington Market. See, there's a cat on top. We have done a walkabout in that part, in a block up or so. That's where we started our walkabout on Saturday night. Small street art over there. I don't know if you can make that out. Got these little. No, that's not going to work. Let's leave one there. We don't leave too many in case they blow away. But those are little city bikes that you can rent out. A little bike store. Happy Canada Day. Not sure how happy Canada Day is going to be. Some little mailboxes there. Another little I think that's actually a pet store. So some pet. Actually, it's a bit of a convenience store, but they have pet food in the window, so I thought it was a pet store. So those are some of the graffitis that was freshly sprayed on Saturday. Not sure if any of those have any meaning, but all of this area, I'm not sure if those houses are empty or if they don't use. Once upon a time, people would live in there. But if or not those were coded messages for protesters on Saturday, I do not know. Stick that there. More street art. And as I'm saying, there's a little Black Lives Matter thing painted there. And these little people live there. Those are little houses and homes. Probably won't even bat an eyelid if you're a tourist and you come by here. So there is a streetcar stop. I'm not sure if I can see a streetcar. Come in. Used car dealership. Kindergarten over there is closed. You can see the sun is coming out. So do I got let me see. I think there is one coming. I could wait here. So with that, guys, I am going to sign off because there's not much to see that way anymore. Let's have a look around. Can you see the tower poking up in the distance? Thanks for watching. TSP TV Walkabout in and around Chinatown. See you next time. Till then, keep it thrifty.